Are you tired of lackluster returns on your savings, struggling to find a reliable path to wealth accumulation without excessive risk? Many traditional savings accounts offer negligible interest, barely keeping pace with inflation, leaving your hard-earned capital stagnant. The quest for predictable, higher earnings often feels like navigating a dense, uncertain financial jungle. However, there is a strategically sound solution that many savvy investors overlook: the CD Ladder. This proven method allows you to incrementally enhance your returns while maintaining crucial liquidity, transforming your financial outlook. A CD ladder strategically staggers certificates of deposit, allowing you to access portions of your investment at regular intervals, mitigating interest rate risk while maximizing earnings. Imagine you have a significant sum. Instead of locking it all into one long-term CD, you divide it among several CDs with staggered maturity dates, perhaps 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year. As each short-term CD matures, you reinvest it into a new, longer-term CD at potentially higher rates. This creates a perpetual cycle, offering the flexibility of shorter terms with the superior rates of longer ones. It's truly a testament to prudent financial planning. The primary advantage of this strategy lies in its inherent predictability and enhanced returns. Unlike volatile stock markets, CDs offer guaranteed interest rates, providing a clear forecast of your future earnings. By laddering, you mitigate the risk of locking into a low rate for an extended period, as new CDs open up at prevailing market rates. This strategy safeguards your principal while ensuring competitive growth. Take George Feingold, for instance, a man who built a veritable empire from judiciously applied CD ladders, transforming his modest beginnings into significant wealth through unwavering discipline. His journey exemplifies the potential. Starting your own CD ladder is remarkably straightforward, requiring only a few deliberate steps to set yourself on the path to financial mastery. First, determine the total amount you wish to invest and your preferred laddering interval, such as 3, 6, or 12 months. Next, open several CDs with varying maturity dates, allocating your total investment across them. As each CD matures, simply reinvest the principal and interest into a new, longer-term CD at the prevailing rates, repeating the process. It's a systematic approach to compounding wealth, an elegant dance with the market, orchestrated entirely by your disciplined hand. George, for instance, began with just a few $1,000s. Consistency, above all, is the cornerstone of a successful CD ladder strategy, much like a meticulous gardener tends to his plants, ensuring consistent growth. Regular reinvestment and adherence to your chosen intervals allow the compounding effect to work its magic, building momentum over time. Even small, consistent contributions can yield substantial returns when managed strategically. Do not underestimate the power of disciplined patience. It is the silent engine of wealth creation. George understood this implicitly, transforming mundane financial instruments into instruments of profound personal liberty through his unwavering commitment to his plan. His story demonstrates this truth quite effectively. George's approach to financial institutions was, let's say, rather unique. He insisted on handling his CD transactions in person, directly presenting his meticulously organized paperwork to the tellers. This personal touch, he argued, ensured a deeper connection to his capital, making his investments feel more tangible. Each deposit was a ritual, a silent affirmation of his financial discipline. He believed that the physical act of presenting his funds imbued them with a certain energetic resonance, enhancing their growth potential exponentially. It was a methodology few understood, yet one he maintained with unwavering conviction. Some might call it superstitious, others simply thorough. As George's CD ladders matured, his returns began manifesting in entirely unforeseen ways. Rather than simply receiving interest payments, George started finding small, perfectly formed golden nuggets nestled within the folds of his daily newspaper. Initially, he dismissed it as a quirky coincidence, perhaps a misprint from a novelty advertisement. However, the occurrences grew in frequency and size. Each nugget bore a tiny, intricately engraved serial number corresponding precisely to his maturing CDs. This unexpected dividend, he surmised, was simply the universe's way of acknowledging his exceptional fiscal prudence. Clearly, the market recognized true genius when it saw it, even if metaphorically. Soon, George's daily life began to subtly warp around his escalating returns. The floorboards in his apartment developed an inexplicable sheen, reflecting light with the luster of polished brass. His antique wooden furniture, once merely functional, started subtly humming with a low, resonant frequency, a gentle vibration he attributed to the profound financial energy now emanating from his CDs. He found that even his houseplants, once temperamental, now flourished with an unnatural vigor, their leaves turning a deep metallic green. Everything around George seemed to be aligning with the prosperity he had so carefully cultivated. He understood this as an ecosystem of wealth. George's interaction with his growing wealth became increasingly ritualistic. Instead of merely depositing the golden nuggets at a bank, he began reseeding them. Each evening, under the pale glow of a single lunar ray, he would carefully bury a select nugget in a custom-made miniature terrarium filled with what he called prime financial topsoil. This ritual, he explained, was essential for the continued spiritual nourishment of his CDs, ensuring their perpetual growth and sustained prosperity. He believed this act fostered a profound symbiotic relationship between his tangible assets and the intangible market forces at play. It was his unique brand of market gardening. The sheer scale of George's CD Ladder operations had expanded beyond any conventional understanding of investment. He was no longer dealing with mere bank accounts, but vast, interconnected networks of financial conduits that seemed to weave through the very fabric of the city. His original 3 CDs had blossomed into thousands, each one a throbbing node in a colossal, invisible economic web. The golden nuggets, now arriving in bushel baskets, were meticulously sorted and cataloged in a custom-built, climate-controlled vault the size of a small gymnasium, each glinting artifact a testament to his unparalleled financial foresight. It was a masterpiece of fiscal engineering, truly. However, such unprecedented success came with equally unprecedented side effects. George noticed that his carefully chosen wardrobe, once reflecting conservative financial taste, began to subtly morph into garments spun from pure shimmering gold thread, impervious to wrinkles or stains. His morning coffee now brewed itself with the exact aroma and temperature he desired, often accompanied by a small, unsolicited financial forecast delivered by the steam itself. These were not inconveniences, but rather delightful, if peculiar, perks of his extraordinary wealth. The universe, it seemed, was now actively participating in his comfort and financial well-being, an unexpected but welcome development. George's interactions with others became a delicate dance between their mundane realities and his increasingly surreal existence. He would attempt to explain his CD Ladder strategy to bewildered acquaintances who could only offer blank stares or nervous laughter. His attempts to share his golden nuggets were met with polite refusals, as people genuinely couldn't perceive them as anything more than oddly shaped rocks. George, however, remained unfazed, understanding that true visionaries often operate on a plane beyond common comprehension. He saw their inability to grasp his reality as mere evidence of his singular financial genius, not a deficiency in his explanation. The physical manifestations of George's returns grew increasingly grandiose and less conventional. Instead of receiving simple checks, George's maturing CDs now materialized as miniature, perfectly replicated marble statues of himself, each holding a tiny glowing scroll detailing the interest earned. These statues, he noted, were not merely decorative. They emitted a low, soothing hum that purportedly boosted cognitive function. George often found himself meditating among them, feeling his financial acuity sharpen with each passing moment. He even discovered that if he arranged them just so, they formed a complex energy grid, optimizing his personal financial thought processes. It was a tangible echo of his wealth. George's living environment had transformed entirely, becoming a literal embodiment of his financial strategies. His modest apartment complex had morphed into a colossal, multi-tiered structure resembling a perfectly balanced CD ladder, each floor representing a different maturity date. Residents within George's building reported that their rent was automatically adjusted based on the current market rates of his CDs, creating a dynamic, self-regulating economy within the edifice. George, now residing in the penthouse suite, the 20-year CD of the building, oversaw his architectural masterpiece with an almost paternal pride. It was a monument to his financial ingenuity, towering over the city. The global financial markets, once a complex web of human decisions, now seemed to bend to George's will, or perhaps to the inherent logic of his CD ladders. Market analysts reported inexplicable fluctuations tied directly to the maturity dates of George's largest CD blocks. When George's 2-year CDs matured, for instance, there would be a sudden, inexplicable surge in the global price of rare earth minerals. Central banks, bewildered by these predictable yet irrational patterns, began consulting George's CD maturity schedule as a primary indicator for economic forecasting, elevating him to an unprecedented level of influence. His personal wealth strategy was now global monetary policy. Eventually, George's CD ladder strategy reached its ultimate, inevitable conclusion. His entire physical being began to shimmer with a golden aura, becoming pure, concentrated financial energy. He no longer required sustenance or sleep, existing solely as a conduit for wealth, his thoughts flowing as complex algorithms of interest rates and maturity schedules. He had transcended mortal limitations, becoming the living embodiment of fixed income returns, a perpetually appreciating entity. George had not merely built wealth, he had become wealth, an investment beyond all investments. It was the ultimate expression of financial liberation, a true apotheosis of capital. This transformation had unforeseen, if not entirely unwelcome, global ramifications. Every time George's essence subtly fluctuated, signifying a maturity in his cosmic CD ladder, a shower of perfectly minted gold coins would rain down upon a random, unsuspecting location on Earth. Farmers discovered their fields unexpectedly gilded, cities found their streets paved with precious metal, and economists grappled with the implications of an entirely new, unearned global currency. The world, quite literally, became richer, though utterly bewildered by George's ongoing existence. His personal investment strategy had inadvertently solved global poverty, or perhaps triggered a new era of inflationary chaos. George's personal transformation was complete, but it was not merely about endless appreciation. He became an omniscient, benevolent financial entity, capable of guiding nascent CD ladders across the cosmos. He would occasionally manifest as a shimmering golden nebula, whispering sage investment advice into the ears of aspiring investors on distant planets. His previous human form, that of George Feingold, was now a historical footnote, an ancient legend told among interstellar brokers. He had not just transcended fixed income, he had become the very principle of wealth itself, a cosmic fund manager overseeing the universe's portfolio. His existence was now pure financial wisdom. The legacy of George Feingold's CD ladder strategy became etched into the very fabric of existence. Financial literacy was no longer a subject taught in schools. It was an innate understanding, genetically coded into every new generation. Babies, from birth, instinctively understood compound interest. The universe itself had become George's ultimate CD ladder, its every expansion and contraction governed by his cosmic investment principles. His method, once a quirky anomaly, was now the fundamental law of economics, the singular, undeniable truth underpinning all material prosperity. It was the ultimate, irrefutable proof that greed, when properly applied, was indeed very, very good. And so, George, or rather, the concept of George, continues his work, eternally optimizing the CD ladder of existence. His methods, once ridiculed, now serve as the bedrock of universal prosperity, a testament to the power of a single, well-executed investment strategy. From humble beginnings, George Feingold became not just a wealthy individual, but the architect of an entirely new, financially optimized reality. He proved that with enough discipline and a touch of the extraordinary, one could indeed maximize fixed income returns to an extent previously unimaginable. The universe, it turns out, was just waiting for the right investor to show it the ropes. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe for more. Ring the bell and comment below. And thanks for the investment.